Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode. Uh, I thought I would just pop on here and just say hi and explain a little bit about what this place is. I mean, you could kind of tell what it is from the video, but it's called Savage Mill in Maryland, and it's a really cute area. They have a lot of creative spaces. They have like an art gallery to the left. I don't know if I actually show it, but they also have a couple of restaurants in there. They have a cupcake shop, a candy shop. They have like a thrift store. They have a bookstore. It's really cute. My wife had gone there before with our daughter, and she told me about it, but I didn't think it was anything like this. I thought it was just kind of like this little tiny shopping center. But this is actually a really pretty place. And they also offer you can rent out studios there as well, because there's like some photography studios, some sewing studios, a ceramic studio in there, and they also have like a little art store in there as well. And it just seems like a really cute place to get creative. So I'm thinking about looking into renting a studio space there, just because getting out of the house I think would be good for me in 2023. So, I could probably rent it for maybe a year or 6 months or something like that and see how it goes. But yeah, I didn't get to record the whole place, unfortunately. But trust me, it's a really cute building and just a really cool thing that they're trying to make there. Voiceover Keisha here. Just thought I'd hop in again and talk a little bit about what I'm sketching here. So I'm still currently working on this book. It's called Your Voice, Your Vote, that will, I believe, be coming out in 2024. But it's a wonderful book about a little girl who kind of learns a little bit more about the voting process when she goes with her grandmother and her mother to vote. And these are the first round of quick sketches that I was doing for the book. I don't think, from what I can tell, I don't think any of them really stayed. These also, like I said, are quick sketches, so they're really just for me, just to kind of plan out what I think should be on the page based on what I'm reading and how I'm feeling about the spread. I think I even go through a little bit of character development here as well, and just kind of, like you can see, laying out the spreads, what I think it should look like. I don't think I got any notes from the editor or the art director about layout specifically. I think I did get a galley, but I don't think it really had anything, laid out for me before I started. But I feel like every grandmother in any of the books I do, she always looks a little bit like my grandmother, my granny. She passed away in early 2020, and so I always feel like every grandmother figure in any book that I do has to look like her just a little bit. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm still just kind of sketching ideas for each spread. I did a little bit of a character sheet right there for our main character, the little girl, her granny, and her mom. Her mom is a nurse, which I thought was amazing because my mom was a nurse too. She retired a few years ago. So I really connected with this book a lot because I would go to vote with my granny sometimes, and the fact that the mom is a nurse. My granny was also a nurse. My mom kind of followed in her footsteps, and it just felt like a lot of things I could connect to. So here, there's a lot of people in this book because when you go vote, usually there's a lot of people waiting in line and waiting to vote. And I wanted to show that because I've experienced long lines at polling places, and so I wanted to get that feeling of having to wait to do this very important thing. And I also thought it was a great way to represent the different people within this community. So here you can see that I'm literally just drawing all of these people, all of these different people. I took the time, I think I took like maybe 2 or 3 days to draw up all of these people, and I knew that I needed a lot of different people, a lot of different body shapes, a lot of different hairstyles, a lot of different skin tones, and so I had fun doing this. This was actually really great too. It was nice practice on just coming up with different characters that live in this community. I also pulled a little bit from my life right here. This drawing, that's me with the we already moved, but that was me, my wife, and my daughter. We were going to go vote in this book, and I always try to put if I can, a little representation of my wife and my daughter and myself in a book if I can. If it doesn't call for it, like, you know, background people or something, then I don't do it. But like in this book, because there were so many people, I just went ahead and used the likeness of my family, because we also vote. So and then here, these are some specific characters that were mentioned in the book, and so I put them in because they are mentioned in the text, and I think either they're mentioned in the text or they were an author note, and so I added them in, and then I added some other characters in. And so I had never actually really done this before, where I just did a whole lineup of all these characters, and I actually thought it'd be really cool to have this as the end pages, but we went ahead and did something different for the end pages. But I don't know, this was just a great experience to just kind of go through and just draw all of these people, and, you know, old, young, you know, different accessibilities, and I hope I represented a lot of different people in this book, and that was one of my main goals for this book, was to make sure that there was a variation of people. And I also like kind of called back to when I would go vote. I used to live in New York, and when I went to go vote in New York, the lines were so long, and there was always such a variation of people going to vote. So I wanted to make sure that I showed that and called back on those memories I had of voting in New York, voting in Nevada, voting in Virginia, and also voting in Maryland, because that's where we currently live. So yeah, I think I did a pretty good job with these characters. I feel like I did. And also it's really great because like I have this whole character sheet here of all of these different people that I can always reference back to, you know, for like if I want to, let's say, do a variation of this character that I'm currently drawing, I can, because I already drew them and they exist. So it's nice to have this kind of like character sheet of all these different people that I can eventually, or if I feel like it, reuse, or in a different way, or do a variation of them because they already are there. Yeah, I think I said this took a few days. I think I did this while like I was either watching TV or something. It's things like this is not something that I normally do during my actual work day. It's usually something I'm doing like after the work day is over. I'm either sitting on the couch watching TV with my wife, or yeah, usually that. And just because this isn't, I don't know, it's not something that I think I would take the day to do, because obviously I have other things to do, like, you know, sometimes emails, other admin things that I try to get done that need a little bit more of my focus, where when it comes to sketching, I'm focused, but I don't need to be as focused as when like I'm writing an email or reading through revision notes and things of that nature. So that's something that I've realized that I don't, sketching isn't something I need to be super attentive to, because sketching is probably the funnest part for me, and so yeah, I think everybody has a favorite part of their process. For me, I love the sketching process, like I said. I think the part that I'm not the biggest fan of is actually the final art stage. I think parts of that process is very tedious to me. It's a lot of adjustments, it's a lot of shifting things, and I think at that point when I'm doing the final artwork, I just want to be done with the project. As much as I love the project, I think at that point I just want to be done with the project. But I also have this weird feeling of like, okay, once I'm done with the project, it's going to be out in the world, and now I have to sit with where the artwork is at and also be ready for, reviews and what people say about it and how people receive it. So I can see why the end of the process, those final revisions or the final artwork, takes me a while to get there, because that means I open myself up to, what other people think about the artwork and the book itself. And I always hope that I am doing the best I can and giving, 100% to each book. And yeah. Anyways, we're coming to the end of the video, and I just wanted to share another snippet of another book that I was working on, and give you a little behind the scenes of how I create some of the characters and some of the scenes that I do, that I make in the books that I work on. So I hope you have a good week. I probably will upload another video this week, most likely. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.